Okay, the Development Review Board meeting, June 13th, 2023, 7 p.m. will come to order. Okay, the first item is final plat review for permit number 23-401 James and Christine Whitcomb of 140 North Street, parcel number 060120, requesting 2-lot subdivision for Bristol Unified Development Regulations, Article 9, Section 930. Do we have a quorum? We had the preliminary sketch plan just a little while ago.
Yep, a couple weeks ago.
Yep, and I don't think we had any. Well, we asked for the lot lines the setbacks to be put on there, right?
And they were, yes.
Yeah, now they are. So we have a plat, survey plat from Ron LaRose, dated May 10th, 2023. And lot 1, which has the existing greenhouses, house and barn, is 2.01 acres, and lot 2, which is being created behind it, is 6 acres. In the VR, this is Village Residential District. The minimum lot size is 10,000 square feet, so more than sufficient there. Setbacks are marked on the map, and access will be over Hazel Drive, which is a private right of way, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so in your deed to lot 2, if the one you convey, you've got to give an easement over Hazel Drive.
Okay.
Any other question from anybody in the board? Pretty straightforward one as subdivisions go.
I know.
I was thinking that makes sense.
Yeah. We like straightforward.
Yes, yeah, me too.
Every once in a
while.
Yep. Well. You folks have anything to add?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack and Linda, have anything?
So if the lots, the 6 acre, that gets developed, where would the access be roadwise?
It's off of, well, it depends. Off of Hazel Drive.
Oh,
With,
That's the,
up north
that's
here.
your road. Okay,
that's the road that goes back to
okay,
I mean, in
Stephen
theory,
Peakers.
Meadow Lane does butt up to it at the south, but they aren't proposing developing lot 2 yet.
right.
And in theory, you could access from in front of your house on Meadow Lane if that's how it laid out. I mean, I have no idea. This is all we have for a drawing,
Mhm.
but the reality is there are 2 roads that abut that. This Meadow Lane here
Where's
is a
Meadow
town,
Lane?
right here, it's a town road.
Oh, okay.
It's a turnaround. It's a
Yeah,
dead end.
It's currently a cul-de-sac.
Oh, okay.
So we were just
Yeah.
wondering.
So does Peggy have your name, Linda?
Yep.
Okay. Keep going.
Pardon?
I said, keep going. I just want to make sure that Peggy had your name
Oh,
in
that
the
was,
minutes.
we're just questioning,
What's the plan, folks?
But at this time, actually Linda and I spoke a little bit, but at this time, we don't have a plan for lot 2. We're really subdividing to be able to put lot 1 up for sale.
Okay.
And that's as far as we are at this time.
Well. 50-foot roadway to benefit. So currently your driveway on lot 1 comes off of Hazel Drive. Okay.
Who owns that right of way on Hazel Drive?
We own Hazel Drive.
Oh, all the way back to those
Yes.
to those
Yeah.
survey codes.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
But it's not the only access to that particular lot, because, if you go to the greenhouse, you go there, there's an access there, so there's access off North Street as well.
Right,
Yeah.
but there's,
So there's,
there's two.
yeah,
Um. Well. Let's see what I already said. So Middle Lane extension is public, Chris?
Mhm. Town road.
Yeah.
And again, so if they were gonna gain access from Meadow Lane, they would have to get a curb cut from the town as well.
Sure. Yep,
Um,
yep. Well, I guess it'll be. Your option. Wonder how far is it from the corner? Yeah, that to the, with the crossers, that same 10 feet?
No.
It's 64.
What is it?
Looks like
60.
it's 64.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
64 and
So
a
that's-
quarter.
So that's more than 3 rods, so. So there is sufficient, there is sufficient width there.
and lot 2 is big enough, so it could be subdivided further. I think.
Yep.
I mean, it's big enough to have half a village there, to have several houses there.
Good, yeah.
Well, if it was. If lot 2 lacked access to a public highway, we'd have to require. The right of way off Hazel Drive. But since there is access via Meadow Lane. I guess it's gonna be up to you folks. At present,
Mhm.
and. Yeah, I think it'd probably be a good idea. If and when you convey it, to convey. An easement over Hazel Drive, but that'll be up to. You folks. I expect that the. Buyers would wanna come off of Hazel Drive, but I guess, I don't know that, you know, it's up to them, but. Since you have access frontage on a public road, we don't have to require
Yeah,
So
the
you-
access is really very good to this new lot 2.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we discussed Meadow Lane at the preliminary, or the sketch plan, but, or the. Yeah, the sketch plan, but. I was focusing on Hazel Drive, we talked about that, but. There it is. Well,
Does it affect this 2-lot subdivision?
no, well, no, what I'm saying is that. If you didn't have access to frontage on a public road, you'd have to provide right of way access over Hazel Drive to lot 2.
Right.
But you do have access. On a public road, provided the town will give you a curb cut.
Technically.
You know, so that's the town controls that, but, you know, so it would be. Up to you. You know, how you handle the access.
Right, well, I think that we would leave our options open and definitely request an easement down Hazel Drive. And as I shared with
Well-
Linda, when the time comes of, you know. If and when that lot 2 is developed, then. I guess that's the time.
Well, you've gotta give lot, yeah, you'd have to give.
We
You
need
already
to do
have,
that
you
now.
already have you already own,
Lot 2,
right, lot 2, so and you're gonna retain lot 1.
lot 1 is going to be put up for sale.
Oh, that's the one that's gonna sell.
Correct.
Oh, I see, okay,
That's why we really don't have anything laid out for lot 2.
okay. I see, so probably makes sense, but it's up to you to reserve an easement to lot 2 over Hazel Drive, just in case.
Absolutely.
Right, we
Yes.
need that for that little bit, because we would still own the majority of Hazel Drive
Mhm.
in lot two,
But that'll-
but yes, we need that.
But that'll be your call.
Yeah.
And if you want, but if you wanted lot 2 to come off of Middle Lane, you need to get a curb cut
Yeah,
from the town, which isn't a big deal, but the town controls driveways onto public roads,
What's a curb cut there?
highway access,
What's that?
highway access.
Okay.
There's no curves. But just mean, you have to get to create a driveway onto a public highway, you have to get a permit from the town, it's not from us, it's from the road commissioner. The select-board sign.
The only
off, or is it-
concern that we
yeah.
have is now it's a cul-de-sac. And we rarely get that many cars down there and they turn around.
Yeah,
And if there's access to lot 2 through Meadow Lane, would there be any precautions for speeding through there?
what's the speed limit, 30 or 25 on Middle?
Oh, gosh.
30 would be way too fast.
I think so.
I mean, technically, it's a town road, I believe it's 30 miles an hour.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was one of the 25 ones.
35, isn't it?
Not on Middle.
Thir-
Lane.
30.
Sorry, it's 30.
Yeah, God, I hope it's not.
Round town.
No,
I'm not sure how you could get to 30 on any of that.
no, exactly, because it's still a lot of curves and turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, anyway,
Kevin, you need to sign her, does she need to oath
oh,
herself?
that's true. All you folks, raise your hand.
We gotta swear you in.
I always forget this, Ted reminded me. Solemnly swear that the evidence you shall give before this development review board should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Thank you, after the fact, you're still sworn. Everything you said before is under oath.
That's fair.
All right, so.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the board's feeling about this? I don't think we've ever had one like this before, John. Well, we've had public access on the back lot through a highway, but also an existing private drive. Go, John.
I would imagine that when it comes time for a development proposal, that these issues would be dealt with then, but is it something we should deal with now?
You know, I think it's gonna. When would they have to come in for a site plan? 49. I'm thinking about site plan, John.
Yep, I'm just looking at the Hazel Drive really goes all the way across the north side of the proposed lot 2. So it looks like I wouldn't be the developer, but there's lots of options there for access off of Hazel Drive. That
Yeah.
seems the natural way to go, and it's on the property, so.
You know, and I would have this, if there's any way that I could protect the Malzacks from having a through road, past their property, I certainly would do that.
But if it's just going to say one house on a further subdivided lot 2, then, one more house is one more house.
So you major to trigger.
It'd be different if it was
Yeah.
headed straight up to Hazel Drive.
I mean, this could be any kind of, it could be a one lot development in the future, or it could be a planned unit development or
Well,
a couple of house lots, I suppose.
yeah, so John, I'm looking at section 230 for village residential. It's got the asterisk for site plan review even for permitted uses, so if and when lot 2 were going to be developed, they'd have to come in for site plan, and access could be addressed at that point.
With that in mind, I think this looks like a good subdivision to me, and I would move that we approve it.
I'll second. Any further discussion from the board?
I don't have anything.
You folks have anything? Lyndon, Jack?
One other question about water. Would water come from
Well,
Meadow Lane?
it's not ripe yet. I don't know when it gets developed, they have to either drill a well or get public access to, does water line go down Meadow Lane?
Yeah,
Yeah, so if the town granted extension, it could come from there, but we don't, at the subdivision stage, we don't have to figure that out. But, you know, normally if it's within access, if it's within reach of the municipal system, people hook on, but with approval of the town, but, you know, sometimes I don't think there's any supply or allocation issue, but you have to get it now, they have to get an allocation from the town for municipal water, if that's the way they want it to go. What is the house and barn have? You have a well or your own town water? So,
Yeah, it's the town water go down Hazel Drive to other businesses, no, it stops at your house.
Goes to, I think, the Roscoe's and,
Okay.
Akbar's.
It stops, I believe it what's labeled here as Menard.
But the shortest way to access lot 2 would be off of Meadow Lane.
well, and so that'll, I think it makes sense to give yourself options if you want, you sell lot 2, make, you know, you don't have to use the easement. Or the owners may decide, they'd rather have access off Hazel Drive, they just don't know who the heck knows.
Right.
Anyway, we've got a motion and seconded. Any further questions from anyone? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
John, you in? All right, so 4-0, subdivision's approved. I'll get a written decision now. You've got a submit a plan. Do we have the final? We don't have Brian's plan yet, but the final for the plot.
No, we don't have the Mylar yet.
Yeah. So when Ron submits the Mylar for recording, Chris will stamp it, I'll come in and sign it.
Okay.
It'll be recorded. But you'll be good to go, but then who's ever developing lot 2 will need to come in for site plan review once those plans are firmed up. Pete?
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
All right, so we have next the April 25th minutes.
And Kevin,
Yeah,
it's me.
no, I know, I just all of a sudden Jill popped up. Hi, Jill.
Our Joe went from the back.
I didn't get any minutes.
I asked, after the meeting, I have a couple of questions about the new zoning regs,
Yeah.
which I'd like to talk to
New
you.
zoning regs? You mean
The ones that we're working with now.
the 2020 regs?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think of them as new.
okay. That's fine.
They're not the
We can check after.
1972 ones or whatever.
Yeah.
John, what was, you had a question, John, correct?
I didn't get the minutes. But maybe that's moot because I don't think I was at the,
Yeah, you were, and you were here
I was there, yeah.
April 25th, so it was me, John, Tom, who's not here, Josh, who's not here, and Brenda, so we can't do it anyway.
Yep.
There's only 3 of us.
Roll them over.
Yep,
And then May 30th, you have enough.
Yeah.
It was a very short meeting, wasn't it?
May 3rd, no, May 30th, that was.
Oh,
that was
no.
The one with
Right,
Josh.
no, that's right.
Masterson,
Sorry.
so it was a long one.
May
I
30th,
haven't
yeah. That was a long one.
John, do you have access right there online? Do you want?
Yes.
Can you pull them up? They're out on the website if you want.
Oh, they are? They weren't at that link when I checked it, but let me look again.
And if they're not, I will email them to you.
So
ASAP.
that's, the folks here, it's me, John, Brenda, and Ted, so we have 4.
I just see the Whitcomb on the Dominion Tech Computer Services.
Oh, no, it's on go out to the Bristol website
Oh, I see. Okay. I can get that.
and then in the upper left, you should have agenda minutes, and about halfway down is the development review board.
Gotcha. Getting there.
Yeah,
I see. I see.
May 30 minutes draft.
That I don't see. Wait a minute. hold on a second. I see DRB. And I just see our names listed. What am I missing?
Oh, no, so up in the upper left, you want to click on.
Oh,
the
agenda and minutes. Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and then scroll about halfway down, you'll find DRB, and then you'll see the May 30th.
Chris is back, John.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Oh, yes.
So
It's all coming back to me now.
this is one where we recessed until July 25th.
Right.
Which gives all of you plant times to get your vacation scheduled for the week of the week of July 25th.
Uh-oh.
Can I ask why the, an Act 250 permit will be, this is on, the Masterson one, and why an Act 250 permit will require conditional use approval from the town of New Haven? That's on page 2, line 91.
It says New Haven,
Yeah,
that should be Bristol, I think.
yeah.
Oh,
Peggy, did you get that?
oh,
Peggy does minutes from multiple towns, so once in a while we get a little crossed up. I get it.
Peggy, if you could get the New Haven Development Review Board to handle this application, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's July 25th.
does it say July at the top?
We're recessing until July 25th, it's the last line.
I know that.
Angels.
Yeah.
What is?
Choir practice of some sort.
Well, that's better than the African drumming which we used to have every week on Tuesdays.
Every Monday at 4 o'clock is Tiny Tot dance right above my office.
Yeah. I'm bring out the heavy duty earplugs on.
I just call it a day. As soon as I start hearing, I'm like, I'm out.
I'm out of here. Well, this is kind of an interesting situation because, typically people have to apply for a permit before they start operations. In this case, he's been operating long enough to piss off a lot of people. And so, it's really is sort of a unique situation.
Yeah, we haven't had that too often. I can only think of one other one.
But
And not
part
to
of
this
that,
extent.
yeah, part of that seems to be that he was working on his house.
Sure, that was, it morphed. Started out that way and then,
Yeah, which he did have a permit for, I understood.
yeah,
Well, but that's not the problem, and that's not the issue. The issue is the,
So
The business.
I just want to keep you guys on
Yeah.
track.
Yeah,
are you still reading, Brenda?
Yes, I got to Eric Byfield.
I'm
Okay,
still reading a little bit too.
sure. No, it's a long one. Let's make sure we got it right.
Yeah, there were a lot of details flying that night. A lot of,
You did a great job, Peggy, capturing it. It wasn't easy, I'm sure.
yeah, seriously. I'm done going through them whenever anybody else is ready.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Brenda's getting there.
Brenda's smooth.
Yeah, no, we appreciate, no, but you're
Well,
really,
no,
you're really good at this,
I've
so
just
take your
gotten,
time.
I've just gotten to a meeting adjourned, so we're okay.
Peggy, you did do a great job of capturing it, I think.
Thank you.
Any other changes? Does anybody see any other changes, corrections to the minutes from May 30?
I don't, but could I ask a question? This is not really
Sure.
pertains to these minutes in particular, but more generally, this may be the most detailed application since I've been on the board. So for me, it's kind of new having so much information come to us in a meeting like this. And it's good to read good minutes like this. It's really helpful. I just have a question about, like, how are the recordings of the meetings? Are those official in any way? Like, if we accept minutes of a given meeting, is the recording of a meeting in essence attached to that? Is that sort of a more?
I don't think so. I mean, well, let me say it this way. I don't know, is the recording available through CCTV? Yeah, so the minutes aren't a transcript and they don't need to be exhaustive or exceptionally thorough. All that's required for the minutes is actually the recording of the motions and the seconds and the votes. So it's helpful to, because and that provides a record of action. So
Right.
There's certainly no harm, and it's a helpful thing to have more detailed minutes. The minutes are the minutes and they do what they're supposed to do. As far as anything not captured in the minutes that may be on the recording, we're not, there are two types of towns for zoning appeals. Most towns are like Bristol are de novo appeals, which means there is no deference owed by the environmental court to what happened below. The environmental court takes the case anew and decides the case as if it were us. It puts the DRB hat on, and all the evidence has to come in new. It's not like an appeal court where facts that were found below or things that were said below have any bearing in the sense that they're binding in any way. It's all new. That's what de novo means. Some towns, not a lot, but some towns are what's called on the record towns. Middlebury is one, Virgins is another. It happens by select board action. In those towns, it really does matter what happened. You actually need a good record. That one of the reasons most towns are de novo towns is because they don't have the means, the wherewithal to produce an accurate record. And so in those cases, a recording is vital, because if you're on appeal, you may end up, you're more arguing about errors of law, and but the court isn't finding disputed facts again. It owes deference to what the DRB found. So there's a much higher premium on an accurate record and a really thorough decision with findings of fact and conclusions of law. So most towns opt out of that system. The default is de novo. And I'm very glad that we're a de novo town.
That's a great explanation. Thank you. Totally answers my question.
So why would a small town like Virgins choose that route?
They did it in the night. Well, I ran into this. Brandon is also one for some reason. And the boards actually often forget about it, and they kind of screw it up, and it's kind of loosey-goosey, and record's really poor.
Yeah,
But there was something about, I'm told, by Mel Hunter, sounds good, no, yeah, who was the city manager there for a while? Anyway.
Holly, Mel Holly.
Mel Holly, so the story was that it was pushed through because it would help with, was thought to help with some development grant for money downtown for something back in the 90s. And in some ways, it's kind of forgotten about. In fact, the existing Virgin's development review regulations, if you look at them, they don't say it's an on-the-record town. It's, you know, it's a problem, so, but that's what I was told was the genesis of it. In Virgin's, I don't know why Brandon did it, Middlebury has a really elaborate, you know, you need a lot of staff and to really administer that correctly, most towns don't have it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. That makes it really clear. Well, with that in mind, then I would move we adopt these minutes.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
I,
We have 4 votes for the May 30 minutes, Peggy.
Thank you.
All right, and that brings us to the end of our agenda. Anybody have an objection to going home? John's already home?
I'm already home, but I have supper ahead of me, so.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're adjourned then.
Thank you all.